Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and yes, continuing on, reviewing more Christmassy materials on the weekends, and yes, that's right, you read the title, and as was teased in the last review video, the first Futurama Christmas special / episode from Season 2, Episode, 8, the fingers. Xmas Story. Yes. The first Futurama Christmas episode / special, Xmas Story. Yep. And, we get to know, for the first time, what Christmas is like, many years into the future, and what Fry experiences, and it's not the Christmas that he knew, and we all know, of course. Because, well, by Season 2, a lot of big changes for Fry at that point, and, not easy at first, adjusting to everything in the future, and in the world of Futurama and such. And, and when it comes to Christmas, at first, because when he learns a lot, and Christmas is not how it was specifically, and, how he knew it, he doesn't adjust to it really quickly, and almost throughout the episode, just him feeling down, but also Leela feeling down as well, and what goes on with her, and what goes on with the other Planet Express crew, and also Bender, and up until when we come face to face for the first time a robot Santa who is evil and psychotic. Xmas Story, and the first things I have to say about it, it's a really good Futurama Christmas special / episode. And again, this being the first, what Futurama had delivered in their first Christmas special / episode, and how they do Christmas, and the fact that we have a psychotic killer Robo Santa, how can you not enjoy it? And especially since this is Futurama we're talking about. What more do I have to say? And it was really cool to see who one of the original voices of Robot Santa was, and whom else guest starred in Xmas Story. Because they still celebrate Christmas, but very different than how Fry remembers it. And so much crazy things that happen in this episode. Just, what more do I have to say? Xmas Story is a really good Futurama Christmas special / episode, and again, this being the first. Alright, so, as always, read the description / the story. Fry learns how Christmas has changed and remained the same over the last 1,000 years when a robot Santa terrorizes New York. Okay, so, with that out of the way, getting into Xmas Story itself, because, we see our Planet Express crew, our main characters, at Catskill's Lodge, and they're watching Conan O'Brien perform on stage, and because the Conan O'Brien, of course, and, his head in a jar, and a mentioning of Max, the drummer, because we see his skull and he's dead, and Conan saying that someone forgot to feed him, and Conan trying to go on with what he's going to say on stage, and Bender just, kind of ruining it, and Conan getting back at Bender, and mentioning one thing he has freckles, but Bender doesn't, and that upsets Bender. And the time that they spend at Cat Lodge Skills, pretty funny, because each of them, skiing, and the mentioning of, say, nuclear weather ending, global warming, and Professor Farnsworth, because, we see him skiing, and he's really good at it, but the thing is, he's asleep. Yeah, that's how he's so good at skiing, with no problem whatsoever. And as for, say, like, Hermes, Zoidberg, and Fry, because each of them, the three of them, getting into some accidents, like, for Fry and Leela, because they're skiing and they're almost about to hit these trees, and, well, Leela actually, says, trees down, and we hear a computer voice and the trees go down. Fry asking, what happens if you say trees up? Trees up, and so funny. And, well, we see Hermes at one point going bobsledding, and apparently Hermes mentions about, excellent Jamaican bobsledders, mentioning about that, and Fry knows what he's talking about, and, well, Hermes should be good at doing that too, but he's not, and because it flipped upside down, and Zoidberg pushing it, and just then, Fry and Zoidberg going down as well, skiing, on the track with, the bobsleds, and all three of them getting wounded. It's really funny. And also, yeah, all of them meeting up, relaxing by the fire. And Bender, because, yeah, some shenanigans he got into was pretty funny. Yeah. And the mentioning of Christmas, and, well, this is where Fry learns that they don't call it Christmas anymore, they call it Xmas. Yeah, the information that, from Leela and Farnsworth give to Fry, and also a mentioning of, instead of the word ask, they use the word axe. Let me ask you something. Well, sure enough, because they at one point planned to go get a tree, for a Christmas tree, Fry was expecting, the traditional, like, tree you would have, right? Like pine tree and such. But no, and apparently, according to Farnsworth, the pine trees had gone extinct for many years. Okay. So instead, like, they get, like, a palm tree. Yeah. And then there's one moment where Farnsworth, he strips down naked for obvious reasons, and just, so funny. And sure enough, because, yeah, them returning back to the Planet Express headquarters, putting up the Christmas decorations and their Christmas tree. And, well, because what goes on at the Planet Express headquarters for the characters? Well, because for Bender, he happens to notice on the news that apparently there are these, like, volunteers or something, for, like, the homeless robots, and, what he's gonna do and get himself in there. Yeah. And what goes on for each Fry and Leela? Well, for Fry, because everything, has changed for him. And when it comes to Christmas, again, not being the same Christmas that he knew. Well, for Leela, because, well, at one point, each of the Planet Express crew members, they received Christmas letters, but Leela didn't get one, because, yeah, we find out, and, according to, say, Amy and Farnsworth, they tell Fry a little later that, well, Leela, she never had any parents, and she was an orphan almost her entire life from when she was a baby. Yeah. Sadly, she never knew her parents for now, because we all know what happens later on in the show. Well, Fry, he said something to Leela which upset her, because of Xmas, and little did he know, because of what was going on with her, and Fry feeling so bad, and he wants to, apologize to Leela, and trying to come up with something, like, there's one moment where Zoidberg suggests and helps Fry with, like, doing an apology dance, like getting down on his knees and just, dancing. But Fry has an idea. He'll get a Christmas present for Leela, and as, an apology to her, and so on. And so that's what he does. However, the Planet Express crew give Fry the heads up that he shouldn't go out and be out, until it's nighttime because of the robot Santa. And Farnsworth explains to Fry that back in 2801, there was this robot Santa that was built to, check and scan on whom had been nice and naughty, but something went wrong, and now the robot Santa had become psychotic and such, and now thinking that everybody is naughty. But Fry, he assures them that he'll be okay and such, and well, yeah, because he proceeds on and trying to find a good Christmas present for Leela as an apology for, how she's feeling, and he didn't know, so... and yeah, because when she stormed off, crying, just, yeah. And coming back to Bender, because him making his way to, where the homeless robots are, and to name some of the other characters, well, because, yeah, like, I mentioned Conan O'Brien, but also, yeah, Morbo making an appearance, Inglis Rao, I think, yeah, I'm saying that right. And one of the homeless robots being Futurama's very own Tiny Tim, Tinny Tim. How fitting is that? And there's also, yeah, the Reverend Preacher Bot, being voiced by Phil Lamar, and he also voices Homeless Robot 2, and David Herman, well, yeah, Skyer, Weapons Shop Clerk, Pet Shop Clerk, and Homeless Robot 1, because, yeah, the shop clerks, Fry first going to a weapons shop, and the weapons shop clerk offering, like, a specific weapon, and, which, ultimately, yeah, because Fry doesn't go with that, and then, well, he makes his way to a pet shop, and looking at which pet he could possibly get. Some of them don't appeal to him, but up until he spots this really nice, beautiful-looking parrot, but also these stink lizards, as they're referred to. And apparently, most notably, the parrot that he has his eyes on is very expensive. And he's going back and forth on if he wants to get the parrot or the stink lizards. Like, yes, no, yes. And ultimately, he goes for the parrot, spending all of his money on that expensive freaking parrot. But, who knows, because maybe this could work out, and, with him getting a Christmas gift, and apologizing to Leela, maybe. And when, he left the pet shop, and by the way, because the pet shop was almost about to close in 2 minutes, because, well, as the Planet Express crew mentioned and warned Fry, because everybody locking their doors and closing shops, because, well, out comes the robot Santa. Yeah. So, yeah, Fry out by himself, and, well, at one point, things don't look too good, and the parrot, pecking Fry, and escaped from the cage, and Fry trying to chase after the parrot, and then at one point, Leela, she came back and apologized for storming off, and realizing that Fry, is missing and is not present, and, well, that's when they tell Leela that, Fry went out to get a Christmas gift for her, and, she panics, and she knows, and of course is aware, that his life is in danger, and because of the robot Santa, so it's up to her to go and save Fry's life. And coming back to Bender, because, what he and the homeless robots do, like, there's one moment where Bender basically hogs and steals every robot's, bowl of soup. Jeez. And how he's kind of, connected with Tinny Tim, feeling emotional towards Tinny Tim, kind of, but yeah. There's one moment a little later on, because where we see them, out in the streets singing Christmas carols, and even one moment where, because they're at the door where, Linda lives, the character Linda, and, they want to, have a drink of something, and, Linda saying, okay, just one, and they all come in, and, well, they have more than just one drink, and it just gets out of hand, and when Bender shouts, okay, get her purse, and so funny. And coming back to Fry, because, well, him trying to get the parrot, and when he's up on that clock tower, risking his life and almost at any point going to fall. And yeah, him trying to get the parrot, but ultimately he has no success, and how he does slip and fall, but he manages to hold on to those numbers on the clock. But, because the time changes, and, like when it changes to 5 or 6 and then to 7, yeah. But thankfully, Leela managed to show up on time and is at a window and, sure enough, yeah, grabs and holds on to Fry, yeah, saving his life. And, everything's good now between Leela and Fry, and, well, Fry feeling apologetic to Leela and such, yeah. And you know what, because, he didn't really had to get her a Christmas gift, and with what they say, yeah, the dialogue that they have. But sure enough, and to speed things up, because yeah, enter Robot Santa, and Robot Santa being voiced by John Goodman. Yep, John Goodman being the first voice of Robot Santa Claus. Robot Santa Claus is a pretty cool Futurama character, and technically an antagonist at times, yeah. And yeah, because Robot Santa Claus showing up, and he detects and spots Fry and Leela, and he points out to them and knows that they've been naughty. And it was really funny, and like the sequence where they're getting chased and attacked by Robot Santa Claus, like when he at one point whips out a Tommy gun or uses those ball ornaments as bombs, and, a great line/quote from Robot Santa Claus, I'm gonna shove coals so far up your stockings you'll be coughing up diamonds, and then just throwing the ornament ball, which is a bomb, that's so good. And then, well, at one point, Bender and the homeless robots, and one of them being Tinny Tim. Well, because what they stole from Linda, and they're singing a little bit of like 12 Days of Christmas, on the 5th day of Christmas. And one of them that they stole, like obviously they stole her purse, but one of them, they stole 2 jars of her late husband's. The urns. Oh my gosh, that is stupid, funny, dark. Am I right? I'm just saying. And yeah, because Bender and the homeless robots, and again, one of them being Tinny Tim, they happen to run in the same location and, meet up with Fry and Leela, and Tinny Tim, asking Bender if he knows who they are, and Bender, saying, yeah, I know those guys. They don't have anything. And yeah, sure enough, Robot Santa, right at them, and then he points to Bender. He knows Bender, of course, and pointing out to Bender that he's been naughty. What did I do? What did I do? Just, he's gonna be exposed. But, and then what happens next is, Bender, pointing to Tinny Tim, like framing him, and framing Tinny Tim, like, outrageous. And then at one point, Robot Santa, he checks his list and writes something, and while he's doing that, and he's taking his time spelling, well, now's everybody's chance to flee from the homeless robots, Tinny Tim, Bender, Fry, and Leela. Even at one point, well, because when it seemed like Fry and Leela, they were cornered and about to be destroyed by Robot Santa Claus with a bazooka, because they happened to be standing right under mistletoe, and, well, maybe they're probably gonna kiss, finally, right? But no, that didn't happen because, well, Robot Santa Claus interrupting that, but thankfully, that parrot that Fry bought, well, it got in the way and it got destroyed by the bazooka. And by the way, because he's uncredited, Frank Welker, because yeah, prominently being a voice cast member of Futurama, most notably Nibbler, but also he voiced the parrot. And this is before Nibbler spoke, so he was just, grunting and such, and we know, of course, Frank Welker is so good at that stuff, right? So that poor parrot, sadly meeting his demise, but, well, technically saved Fry and Leela's lives. And, yeah, when coming back to the Planet Express, everybody opening Christmas gifts, and there was even one moment where a little earlier, we saw Herms and Farnsworth playing a game, and they were both butt naked, sitting in chairs, and, I tell you, golly. Anyways, so the Christmas gifts that they're doing, exchanging and such, well, we see Amy and Hermes. There's something off about them and especially how they look wearing the Santa hats. And, well, because when each of them take off the Santa hats they're wearing, they're both bald because each of them sold their hair for hair combs for one another. And same goes for Zoidberg. He gets his own piece of hair combs, and when he takes off his Santa hat, we see that he has each Amy and Herm's their hairs, yeah. He managed to get a hold of their hair and such, and now using the hair combs, And so, yeah, then, Bender, Fry, Leela, and the homeless robots and Tinny Tim, they show up and getting inside, but Robot Santa, he's still not letting them off the hook that easily. And, well, Farnsworth, pointing out to, close/shut the, fire door, because, yeah, there's a door that they have, that closes the fireplace. Fry and Leela pushing it, give it all your might, teamwork and such, says Farnsworth. But, well, Robot Santa managed to stop from them closing it using a candy cane, and thus he's inside of the Planet Express, and, well, by this point, they're screwed, right? Well, not yet. Robot Santa pointing out to all of them, except for Zoidberg, all of them being naughty. But for Zoidberg, how? Especially since he got his hands on Amy and Herms, each of their hairs. Well, Zoidberg gets a pogo stick. And after that, well, because, Robot Santa about to attack them, and, well, a bomb was about to go off from one of the robot reindeer, that being Rudolph, the robot red-nosed reindeer. And, well, what are they going to do? But sure enough, Zoidberg, he actually, snips piece of the Christmas light bulbs, and it strikes at Robot Santa, electrocuting him, and Leela taking her shot at, kicking Robot Santa, and pushing Robot Santa, along with his robot reindeer and his sleigh, into the fireplace, closing it, and sure enough, yeah, the bomb goes off, and it sends all of them flying out of the chimney and into the sky. So, yeah, that's the end of Robot Santa right there. He's defeated, for now. And, yeah, all ends well for our Planet Express crew, as well as the homeless robots and Tinny Tim. They have Xmas dinner. Bender is the cook, and the Xmas dinner they have is the burning carcass of the parrot. But however, for Nibbler, he eats all of it. He even takes the one piece of that burning parrot that Tinny Tim was gonna have. Oh, Nibbler. And then, yeah, all ends with them at the piano singing their rendition of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. This time it's Santa Claus is gonna gun you down. Yeah, how they sing it. It's funny. And Farnsworth saying to us audience, Merry Xmas to one and all, and he, one last time in the episode, strips naked. And with the credits rolling, we see Robot Santa survived the bomb / the explosion, flying off into the night and, saying that, I will return and such. Yeah, so that's not the last we've seen of Robot Santa, because, of course, we all know that he would show up later on and in later Christmas episodes / specials of Futurama. But yeah, overall, that was a great / funny way to end off Xmas Story. Yeah. Season 2 of Futurama, episode 8. Sorry, fingers. Yeah. Xmas Story. It was really good. It definitely was. And again, this being the first ever Futurama Christmas episode / special. Everything about it from beginning to end, really good. From the story, what goes on with the characters, and, of course, most notably with Fry, Leela, and Bender, and for the first time, enter Robot Santa Claus. Some of the guest voices that appeared in Xmas Story from, say, Conan O'Brien and John Goodman. Yeah. And again, John Goodman being the first voice of Robot Santa Claus. The funny moments here and there, some emotional moments, yeah, especially, for Fry and Leela. And, because Futurama, not only are they good at bringing us some hilarious moments, but, man, they've done a really good job bringing us some tear-jerking moments. Oh, yeah, Yeah, just overall, Futurama's first ever Christmas episode / special, Xmas Story, is really good. And, well, 10 out of 10 stars. Yep, 10 out of 10 stars for Season 2, Episode 8 of Futurama, Xmas Story. And what about you guys? What did you think of Futurama Season 2, Episode 8? Xmas Story. Is it one of your favorite Futurama Christmas episodes / specials? Was this the first one that you watched from Futurama where, yeah, they do something Christmassy? And what were some of your favorite moments from Xmas Story? And who is your favorite voice of Robot Santa Claus? Because, yeah, Robot Santa Claus had other voices aside from John Goodman, but, I gotta say, John Goodman, because he was the first voice of Robot Santa Claus, I'd say he'd probably be my favorite, But, yeah, that's my opinion, and maybe you guys would think so, too. Yeah. And, yeah, the funny moments that happen in Xmas Story, and, a few emotional moments here and there. Just, yeah. And some dark humor that they had in Xmas Story. Yeah, because, yeah, the dark humor that they would have in Futurama. Just so good. But, yeah, overall, what do you think of Xmas Story itself, Futurama's first Christmas episode / special, and with what I've had to say, my review, and yeah, what did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review video a like, as always. And so, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Futurama Season 2, Episode 8, Xmas Story, the first ever Futurama Christmas episode / special. More review videos are coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video / review. And of course, continuing on, reviewing more Christmassy materials on the weekends. Stay tuned, because what I'm going to be reviewing next, well, comes straight from Cartoon Network. And, well, best way to describe it, let's just say it has to do something with evil con carne. Yeah, I'm sure you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Again, stay tuned for that. Take care, peace out, and Merry Xmas.